Welcome, seekers of wisdom and growth. Today we're going to explore a profound truth that has the power to revolutionize our lives and reshape our understanding of success and failure. It's a truth that challenges our conventional beliefs about talent and ability, and reveals the hidden force that truly determines our destiny. We often look at successful people and assume they were born with some special gift or talent that set them apart from the rest of us. We see their achievements and think, if only I had their natural abilities, I could accomplish great things too. But what if I told you that talent, while certainly valuable, is not the primary factor that determines a person's success or failure? The real key, the secret ingredient that separates those who achieve their dreams from those who don't, is attitude. It's not about what cards you're dealt in life, but how you play them. It's not about the hand you're given, but the mindset with which you approach the game. Now, you might be thinking, surely talent must play a significant role. After all, we can't all be Mozart or Einstein. And you'd be right to a certain extent. Talent does matter. It can give us a head start, open doors, and make certain tasks easier. But talent alone is not enough. History is littered with examples of immensely talented individuals who never reached their full potential, while seemingly ordinary people have gone on to achieve extraordinary things. So what is it about attitude that makes it so powerful? Why does it trump talent in the long run? To understand this, we need to dive deep into the nature of attitude itself. Attitude is more than just positive thinking or having a sunny disposition. It's a fundamental orientation towards life, a lens through which we view the world and our place in it. It's the sum total of our beliefs, expectations, and responses to the challenges and opportunities life presents us with. A powerful attitude is one that embraces growth, perseverance, and resilience. It's a mindset that sees obstacles not as insurmountable barriers, but as opportunities for learning and improvement. It's an approach to life that values effort, embraces failure as a teacher, and refuses to be defined by limitations. Consider two individuals facing the same challenging task. The first person, blessed with natural talent, approaches the task with overconfidence. They assume their innate abilities will carry them through, so they put in minimal effort. When they encounter difficulties, they become frustrated and discouraged, questioning their own abilities and perhaps even giving up.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
The second person, perhaps less naturally gifted, approaches the task with a different attitude. They see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. They put in consistent effort, seeking out resources and assistance when needed. When they face setbacks, they view them as valuable feedback, adjusting their approach and redoubling their efforts. Which of these two do you think is more likely to succeed in the long run? This scenario illustrates a crucial point. Talent might determine where we start, but attitude determines how far we go. Talent is a gift, but attitude is a choice. And it's a choice we make every single day, in every situation we encounter. Now, you might be wondering, if attitude is so important, why don't we focus on it more? Why do we still place so much emphasis on innate talent? The answer lies in our deeply ingrained cultural beliefs and the way we've been conditioned to think about success and achievement. From a young age, we're taught to identify and cultivate our talents. We're sorted into groups based on our abilities, praised for our natural gifts, and encouraged to pursue paths that align with our innate strengths. While there's nothing inherently wrong with this approach, it can lead us to overvalue talent and undervalue the power of attitude and effort. This focus on talent can have some unfortunate consequences. It can lead to a fixed mindset where we believe our abilities are set in stone and can't be significantly improved. This mindset can make us risk-averse, afraid to try new things, or take on challenges that might expose our limitations. It can also make us overly sensitive to failure, seeing it as a reflection of our inherent worth rather than a natural part of the learning process. On the other hand, when we recognize the power of attitude, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. We begin to see that our potential is not limited by our current abilities, but by our willingness to learn, grow, and persevere in the face of challenges. This shift in perspective can be truly liberating. It means that no matter where we start, no matter what natural talents we may or may not possess, we have the power to shape our own destiny. It means that success is not reserved for a select few born with special gifts, but is available to anyone willing to cultivate the right attitude. But what exactly does this right attitude look like? How can we cultivate it in our own lives? At its core, the attitude that leads to success is characterized by several key elements. First, it's growth-oriented. People with this attitude believe that their abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. They see challenges as opportunities to learn and improve, rather than threats to their self-image. Second, it's resilient. They understand that setbacks and failures are a natural part of any worthwhile endeavor. Instead of being discouraged by obstacles, they view them as valuable feedback and adjust their approach accordingly. Third, it's proactive. Rather than waiting for opportunities to come to them, they actively seek out ways to learn, grow, and move closer to their goals. They take responsibility for their own development and don't rely on others to push them forward. Fourth, it's persistent. They understand that meaningful achievement often requires sustained effort over time. They're willing to put in the work day after day, even when progress seems slow or the path forward isn't clear. Fifth, it's adaptable. They recognize that the world is constantly changing, and they're willing to adjust their strategies and approaches as needed. They don't cling rigidly to one way of doing things, but remain open to new ideas and methods. Now, I want you to pause for a moment and reflect on your own attitude. How do you typically approach challenges? When you encounter obstacles, do you tend to give up, or do you see them as opportunities to learn and grow? How do you react to failure? Do you let it discourage you, or do you use it as motivation to improve? These questions can provide valuable insight into your current mindset and help you identify areas where you might need to shift your attitude. Remember, attitude is a choice, and it's one we can consciously cultivate and improve over time. But here's a deeper question to consider. What beliefs or assumptions might be holding you back from fully embracing this empowering attitude? Are there areas of your life where you've been operating under a fixed mindset, believing that your abilities are set in stone? What might change if you approach these areas with a growth mindset instead? As we reflect on these questions, it's important to remember that changing our attitude is not always easy. It requires conscious effort and consistent practice. It means challenging long-held beliefs and stepping out of our comfort zones. But the rewards of this shift can be truly transformative. When we embrace the power of attitude, we unlock our true potential. We free ourselves from the limitations of our perceived talents and open ourselves up to endless possibilities for growth and achievement. We become more resilient in the face of challenges, more persistent in pursuing our goals, and more adaptable in a rapidly changing world. Moreover, this shift in attitude doesn't just affect our own lives. It ripples out to influence those around us. When we approach life with a growth mindset and a positive attitude, we inspire others to do the same. We create an environment that encourages learning, perseverance, and mutual support. In the next part of our exploration, we'll delve deeper into the practical aspects of cultivating this powerful attitude. We'll look at specific strategies and techniques you can use to shift your mindset and approach life's challenges in a more empowering way. We'll also explore some real-world examples of individuals who have achieved remarkable success through the power of attitude, despite facing significant obstacles or lacking natural talent in their chosen fields. Are you ready to continue this journey of discovery? Are you prepared to challenge your assumptions about talent and success, and to embrace the transformative power of attitude? If so, let's move forward into the next phase of our exploration. As we delve deeper into the power of attitude, we must confront a fundamental truth. The attitude that leads to success is not born in comfort, but forged in the fires of adversity. It's in the face of challenges, setbacks, and failures that our true character is revealed and our attitude is put to the test. Consider for a moment the most successful people you know or have read about. Did their path to success unfold smoothly, without obstacles or setbacks? Rarely, if ever. More often, their stories are filled with challenges, failures, and moments of doubt. What set them apart was not an absence of difficulties, but their response to those difficulties. This brings us to a crucial point. Success is not about avoiding failure, but about how we handle it when it inevitably occurs. Our attitude in the face of adversity is what determines whether we'll be crushed by our challenges or transformed by them. Let's examine this more closely. When we encounter a significant setback or failure, we typically experience a range of negative emotions: disappointment, frustration, perhaps even shame or despair. These feelings are natural and human. The critical factor is what we do next. Those with a success-oriented attitude don't allow these negative emotions to define them or determine their next steps. Instead, they view failure as feedback, as valuable information that can guide their future efforts. They ask themselves, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to improve? This shift in perspective, from seeing failure as a judgment of our worth to seeing it as a tool for growth, is transformative. It allows us to maintain our motivation and momentum even in the face of significant setbacks. It turns our failures from endpoints into stepping stones on the path to success. But how do we cultivate this resilient attitude? How do we train ourselves to respond to failure in this constructive way? It begins with understanding that our response to adversity is a choice. In any challenging situation, we have the power to choose our attitude, even if we can't control the circumstances themselves. This idea was powerfully articulated by Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the Nazi concentration camps. In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." If Frankl could choose his attitude in the unimaginable horrors of a concentration camp, surely we can choose our attitude in the face of our own, comparatively minor, setbacks and failures. This realization is incredibly empowering. It means that no matter what life throws at us, we always retain the power to shape our response. But choosing our attitude is just the beginning. To truly harness the power of a success-oriented attitude, we need to cultivate specific habits of mind. One of the most crucial is the habit of reframing our experiences. Reframing involves consciously shifting our perspective on a situation. Instead of dwelling on the negative aspects of a setback, we actively look for the potential benefits or opportunities it might present. For example, if we lose a job, instead of focusing solely on the financial stress and blow to our ego, we might reframe it as an opportunity to explore new career paths or to finally start that business we've been dreaming about. This doesn't mean ignoring the real challenges or difficulties we face. It's not about putting on rose-colored glasses and pretending everything is fine when it's not. Rather, it's about expanding our perspective to see beyond the immediate negative impact and recognize the potential for growth and new opportunities. Another crucial aspect of a success-oriented attitude is the willingness to take responsibility for our circumstances. It's easy, and often tempting, to blame external factors for our failures or lack of progress. We might point to unfair circumstances, lack of support, or just plain bad luck. While these external factors certainly can play a role, focusing on them exclusively leaves us feeling powerless and stuck. Instead, those with a success-oriented attitude ask themselves, what part did I play in creating this situation? What can I do differently going forward? This approach puts the power back in our hands. It recognizes that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can control our own actions and responses. Taking responsibility in this way isn't about self-blame or beating ourselves up over past mistakes. It's about recognizing our own agency and power to shape our lives. It's about focusing on what we can control and influence, rather than wasting energy on factors beyond our control. This attitude of personal responsibility extends beyond just our failures or setbacks. It applies equally to our successes. Those with a success-oriented attitude don't attribute their achievements solely to luck or external circumstances. They recognize the role of their own efforts and choices in creating their success. This balanced view, taking responsibility for both our successes and our failures, is crucial. It allows us to learn from our mistakes without being crushed by them, and to build on our successes without becoming complacent. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds good in theory, but how do I actually put it into practice? How do I cultivate this attitude in my own life? The answer lies in consistent, intentional effort. Changing our attitude, like any significant personal change, doesn't happen overnight. It requires ongoing practice and reinforcement. One powerful technique is to develop a habit of reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to review your experiences. What challenges did you face? How did you respond? Were there moments when you fell into negative thought patterns or unproductive attitudes? How might you have approached those situations differently? This daily reflection serves multiple purposes. It helps us become more aware of our habitual thought patterns and responses. It gives us an opportunity to practice reframing our experiences in a more constructive light. And it allows us to consciously reinforce the attitude we want to cultivate. Another effective strategy is to surround ourselves with people who embody the attitude we want to develop. Our attitudes are heavily influenced by the people we spend time with. If we're constantly around negative, defeatist individuals, it's much harder to maintain a positive, growth-oriented mindset. On the other hand, when we surround ourselves with people who approach life's challenges with resilience and optimism, we naturally begin to adopt similar attitudes. This doesn't mean we should only associate with relentlessly positive people or avoid anyone going through difficulties. Rather, it's about being intentional about our social circle and seeking out relationships that support our growth and reinforce the attitudes we want to cultivate. We can also actively seek out stories and examples of individuals who have succeeded through the power of attitude. Reading biographies of successful people, studying how they overcame obstacles, and learning from their mindsets can be incredibly inspiring and instructive. It reminds us of what's possible when we approach life with the right attitude. But perhaps the most powerful way to develop a success-oriented attitude is through action. We can read about resilience and positive thinking all day long, but it's only when we put these principles into practice in our own lives that we truly internalize them. This means deliberately seeking out challenges and opportunities for growth. It means setting ambitious goals for ourselves and persisting in the face of setbacks. It means being willing to step out of our comfort zones and risk failure in pursuit of our dreams. Each time we face a challenge and respond with a growth-oriented attitude, we strengthen that mindset. Each time we reframe a setback as an opportunity for learning, we reinforce that habit of mind. Over time, this success-oriented attitude becomes not just something we do, but a fundamental part of who we are. Now, I want you to consider a profound question. What would your life look like if you fully embraced this attitude? If you approached every challenge, every setback, every failure as an opportunity for growth and learning? How might your relationships change? Your career, your personal growth and fulfillment? Imagine the possibilities that would open up if you no longer let fear of failure hold you back. If you saw every experience, positive or negative, as a chance to learn and improve. If you took full responsibility for your life and your choices, focusing your energy on what you can control rather than what you can't. This is the true power of attitude. It's not just about feeling better or thinking more positively. It's about fundamentally transforming how we engage with the world and with our own potential. It's about unlocking capabilities we may never have realized we possessed. As we move into the next part of our exploration, we'll look at how this attitude plays out in specific areas of life, in our careers, our relationships, our personal growth. We'll examine how it can help us navigate major life transitions and overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. And we'll delve into some advanced strategies for maintaining and strengthening this attitude, even in the face of major challenges or prolonged adversity. As we venture further into our exploration of attitude and its profound impact on success, we must now turn our attention to a critical aspect of this journey: action. For all the power of our mindset and attitude, it is through our actions that we ultimately shape our reality and create tangible results in our lives. The relationship between attitude and action is symbiotic. Our attitude influences the actions we take, and in turn, our actions reinforce and shape our attitude. This dynamic interplay is where the true magic happens, where our internal mindset manifests in external reality. Let's consider how this plays out in various aspects of our lives. In our careers, for instance, a success-oriented attitude doesn't just make us feel more positive about our work. It fundamentally changes how we approach our responsibilities and opportunities. Someone with a growth mindset and resilient attitude is more likely to volunteer for challenging projects, seek out constructive feedback, and persist in the face of setbacks. They're not just working harder, they're working smarter, constantly looking for ways to learn and improve. Over time, these actions lead to increased skills, expanded responsibilities, and greater recognition, tangible markers of career success. In contrast, someone with a fixed mindset or negative attitude might shy away from challenges, take criticism personally, and give up easily when faced with obstacles. Their actions, or lack thereof, limit their growth and opportunities, potentially leading to stagnation or even career decline. The same principle applies in our personal relationships. An attitude of openness, empathy, and growth fosters actions that strengthen our connections with others. We're more likely to communicate effectively, resolve conflicts constructively, and invest time and energy in nurturing our relationships. These actions, in turn, lead to deeper, more fulfilling connections with the people in our lives. In the realm of personal development, our attitude determines whether we take actions to improve ourselves or remain complacent. Those with a growth-oriented attitude are more likely to set ambitious personal goals, seek out new learning experiences, and push themselves out of their comfort zones. These actions lead to continuous personal growth and the development of new skills and capabilities. But here's a crucial point to understand. The link between attitude and action isn't always immediate or obvious. Sometimes, we may have to act in accordance with our desired attitude before we fully feel it. This is where the concept of acting as if comes into play. Acting as if means behaving in a way consistent with the attitude we want to cultivate, even if we don't fully feel it yet. If we want to develop a more confident attitude, for example, we might start by acting confident, standing tall, speaking clearly, taking on challenges, even if we still feel unsure inside. Over time, these actions can help shift our internal attitude to match our external behavior. This principle underscores an important truth. We don't have to wait until we feel completely ready or confident to take action. In fact, action itself can be a powerful tool for building the attitude we desire. Consider the phenomenon of imposter syndrome, that feeling of being a fraud despite external evidence of competence. Many highly successful people report experiencing this feeling at various points in their careers. The key is that they don't let this feeling stop them from taking action. They continue to show up, do the work, and take on new challenges, even when they doubt themselves. Over time, their actions help to build genuine confidence and competence, aligning their internal attitude with their external success. This brings us to another crucial point: the importance of consistent, sustained action. Success rarely comes from a single grand gesture or moment of inspiration. Instead, it's the result of small, consistent actions taken day after day, week after week, year after year. This is where the true power of attitude becomes evident. A success-oriented attitude doesn't just motivate us for a day or a week. It sustains us over the long haul. It helps us maintain our effort and focus, even when progress seems slow or setbacks occur. Consider the process of mastering a new skill. Whether it's learning a musical instrument, becoming proficient in a new language, or developing expertise in a professional field. This kind of mastery typically requires thousands of hours of practice and study. It's not always exciting or rewarding in the moment. There are plateaus where progress seems to stall, and moments of frustration when we're tempted to give up. This is where our attitude makes all the difference. Those with a growth mindset and resilient attitude are able to persist through these challenging periods. They understand that mastery is a journey, not a destination. They find ways to stay motivated and engaged, even when the immediate rewards aren't apparent. But how do we maintain this kind of sustained action over time? How do we keep pushing forward when motivation wanes or obstacles arise? This is where habit formation becomes crucial. Habits are the bridge between our attitudes and our actions. They allow us to maintain consistent action even when our motivation fluctuates. By developing strong, positive habits aligned with our goals, we create a structure that supports our success-oriented attitude and translates it into tangible results. For example, if our goal is to become a writer, we might develop a habit of writing for an hour each morning, regardless of how we feel or whether inspiration strikes. If we're working on improving our health, we might create habits around regular exercise and healthy eating. These habits, once established, carry us forward even on days when our motivation is low. The key to effective habit formation is to start small and build gradually. Rather than trying to overhaul our entire life at once, we focus on developing one or two key habits at a time. As these habits become ingrained, we can build on them, gradually creating a network of positive behaviors that support our goals and reinforce our success-oriented attitude. Another powerful strategy for maintaining sustained action is to create systems of accountability. This might involve finding an accountability partner, joining a group of like-minded individuals pursuing similar goals, or using technology to track our progress and remind us of our commitments. Accountability helps bridge the gap between our intentions and our actions. It provides external reinforcement for our internal attitude, helping us stay on track even when our motivation wavers. As we take consistent action aligned with our success-oriented attitude, we begin to see tangible results in our lives. These results, in turn, reinforce our attitude, creating a positive feedback loop. We see evidence that our efforts are paying off, which strengthens our belief in the power of our attitude and actions, motivating us to continue pushing forward. This is where the true alchemy of attitude and action occurs. Our internal mindset, manifested through consistent action, begins to transform our external reality. We see improvements in our skills, our relationships, our career prospects, our overall quality of life. These external changes then feed back into our internal attitude, creating an upward spiral of growth and achievement. But it's important to remember that this process is not always smooth or linear. There will be setbacks, plateaus, and moments of doubt along the way. This is where the resilience we've cultivated through our attitude becomes crucial. we're able to view these challenges not as insurmountable obstacles, but as natural parts of the growth process. Now I want you to pause and reflect on your own life. Where have you seen the power of attitude and action working together to create positive change? Conversely, are there areas where a misalignment between your attitude and actions might be holding you back? Consider this. What is one small action you could take today that would be aligned with the success-oriented attitude we've been discussing? It doesn't have to be big or dramatic. Remember, sustained success is built on small, consistent actions over time. As we move into the final part of our exploration, we'll delve into some advanced strategies for integrating this success-oriented attitude into every aspect of our lives. We'll look at how to maintain this mindset in the face of major life challenges, how to use it to navigate complex decisions and transitions, and how to leverage it not just for personal success, but to make a positive impact on the world around us.